guys, welcome to American Horror Story, which somebody tweeted at me and said you guys missed an opportunity to call the show Covering the Coven because we had Breaking Bad broken down. So props to who suggested that, and this week's episode will be called Covering the Coven. There will be spoilers. This particular episode was entitled
Protect the Coven.
Yes.
Thanks, Dani.
And so first general thoughts.
Yeah. DJ's here.
Hey!
Can we talk about that?
I'm so used to DJ being. I'm so at home with you that I did.
Oh, thanks, man.
And
thanks.
you look like Steve. So.
Yeah, I do. Somebody called us long lost brothers in one of the videos we did together.
Really? That kind of makes sense.
It's because we wear black hoodies and have beards.
Yeah.
It's racist.
Yeah.
A lot of your opinions are the same too.
It's very true.
And you have that signature lowbrow humor. That just so crass.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
That's Elliott.
Hey.
And I'm Dani. And where do we want to jump in on this episode? Because my first take from it was the carnage. That's just what I want to talk about up top.
there was quite a bit of violence in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot
And it all started with the chicken.
And I was a pussy. I'm going to be honest. Because they gave us like a 20-second lead up to all of it. And I no.
I also like how throughout this episode,
I couldn't do it.
They have that like, are we going to cut away? Are we going to cut away?
But
We've waited so long, we're going to cut away. And then they don't at the very end, especially with Cordelia in her eyes.
Yeah.
Are they going to?
Oh, that was great.
And then she stabs one, and then they pull out, and you're like, okay, they're going to cut away now. Nope.
Dude.
Yeah, we were,
Second eye.
my wife and I were watching it, and she's like putting that crap on her eyes, and I was like, oh, we were right. Like, was it you, Dani, who said that?
We were talking about that. Oh, I said a friend of mine suggested last week.
Yeah.
She probably is going to take her own eyeballs out.
Right, and so I saw having Tiffany was like, what are you talking about? And that's a horrible impression of my wife. And
What are you talking
I was like,
about?
yeah, she's just, she's a college cheerleader. But I was like, no, she's gonna take her eyes out. She's gonna do it, and she did it in the worst way ever with a sharp knife, and not like a spoon or something.
Yeah, you're a witch. Can't you do some magic thing where you just give yourself blindness?
And
Isn't
like
there
how
some give
hard
yourself blindness?
you go in once. There's a brain behind your eyes.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful with that.
Those
crap.
things aren't 6 feet deep. Eyeballs don't look like this.
Yeah.
How great would that have been if she just took her eyes out, but she brained herself accidentally, and then she's just dead?
She biffed it. I love the Sarah Paulson screams. I get life breath from her screams. I can't even try and do it justice.
I feel like
I'll get you some audio or some shit.
Is this a good point to bring up how like everything they've introduced they've reversed on at least twice?
Yeah.
Like
it's a
Sarah
great time to
Paulson
bring it
like
up.
has her eyes, then loses her eyesight,
Yeah.
then gets her eyesight back, and then takes them away. Now, I will say that was the only reversal that actually made sense to me because of the place she's in. It actually made sense to me that she'd do that. But like suddenly Kathy Bates is racist again for why?
Well,
just because we want to see her gut a guy?
It's just I don't know. I think DJ, you and I are basically on the same page regarding the quality of the episode. I think it was better than last week's, but I do feel like this happened last season.
It didn't feel like the third to last episode of the season.
Exactly.
Because it's been arcing, and then this one was like, it felt like a step back a little bit.
Totally.
Yeah. I'm gonna straight up, and you were saying that people are gonna hate me for this, but I'm gonna straight up say I'm gonna call it now. I think this is the weakest season of American Horror Story.
You are wrong.
Well, for a
You are
couple
dead
reasons.
wrong.
For a couple reasons.
It's subjective.
One.
Opinion.
This is just my opinion. Apparently, I'm the only one on the couch that has it. But I feel like
I'm
for
offended.
one, the other ones had, like the first one had the rule that if you died in the house, you were a ghost in the house.
Yeah.
And then the second season was a little murky in the rules, but all those external threats were more vague, like the aliens and the demons and stuff.
Yeah.
They weren't a central focus. This one, we have the witches, but like to this point, I still don't know what purpose the Supreme serves. I don't know what the rules are for bringing people back from the dead and why Ghost Guy is just as functional as the undead. But I think the biggest thing that makes this season the weakest so far and has made it the weakest, beyond it being more chaotic and less cohesive, is that death means nothing. In the first one, if you died, you were a ghost in the house, but that was it. You were still dead. And so in the second season, when people died, when fucking what's his face, the Nazi doctor put himself in
Some
the
people
crematorium.
haven't seen it. Watch yourself.
Spoiler alert for the second season. When somebody died, they died. When they were dead, they were gone. And that added consequence. So this season, there's no consequence. And so I'm not necessarily saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that even within the realm of American Horror Story, batshit craziness, I just feel like there's nothing that gives it consequence or cohesion.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
And that does annoy me, but I also feel like this show for me is like my emotional porn. It's like, I know going into it, I just want to watch a bunch of badass older ladies be badass.
And you get a
I
lot
want
of
to
that.
watch a bunch of carnage. I want to, literally, not a lot of shows I watch where I audibly am like, oh, fuck.
I would agree with that. I feel like this.
I enjoyed the roller coaster of the show, but this season, I get it. Like when Queenie came back last night, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I
got new
like,
powers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know why you needed new powers. You were already butchering yourself half the episodes anyway.
Right. I think that there have to be parameters to storytelling, but I disagree with what you're saying in terms of it being the worst season because I feel like it's so much fun. I feel like it's more fun than the previous seasons. Definitely not scary, and it's just like you're saying, like when you watch it, you're just like, it's so easy to be entertained by it. It's such an easy show to sit down and
They're
just be like,
ballsy in a lot of different arenas on this season.
It's such good, and I feel like we live in, unfortunately, with entertainment these days, it's so hard to find things you don't have to invest in. It's why I have a hard time investing in a bunch of television shows. People are like, you need to watch this, and I'm like, it takes energy to watch things, and with American Horror Story, it doesn't. It's easy, it's fun. Yeah. But
I can be under my covers and like.
Yeah, and you know it's
that's
gonna.
That's what I do it every week.
It's such a thing where it's very like playful with the audience. Like they know they're winky. The freaking Benadryl. Can we talk about that for a second? Like,
the only thing she's allergic to for some reason.
Yeah, and that's the antihistamine was the best line ever. Cracked me up, and I was like, no, they did. And then Epcot, like there's so many. Yeah. It's so goofy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Dani, how much did you love the office room, the meeting room massacre?
That was, I loved it. I saw him in the background, like setting up his axe, and I was like, oh my god. And I wanted it, and they gave me it. I just wanted a swift axe to the throat, and I got it. They gave it to me. It's like they knew I wanted it.
I saw him take off the coat. I didn't put it together that it was the Axeman. And then, so when he turned around, I was like, oh, of course, duh, Elliott. But when that scene was done, I literally was like, fun. That was fun.
Yeah.
We're having fun now.
There's a part of my brain that's like, wait a second. If all you needed to do was call them into a meeting and then chop them up, why not sooner? And then also, like, if you were able to just deconstruct their entire business without ever setting foot in the room, you probably could have killed them. Without couldn't Madame Laveau have summoned a bunch of zombies? But all that said,
it wouldn't be as much fun to kill them from afar.
That scene was a blast. It was a blast. It's like everybody in that scene, not Jessica Lange and Angela Bassett, but like the guys in it, just ate up. They were given a big bowl of camp.
There's really not much hotter than Danny Houston with blood splatter all over him. That shit works for me.
I said that to Tim. I was like, this guy's pretty charming. And she was like, this guy's not charming. He's terrifying.
No, he's a Houston baby.
Yeah, oh, that accent's awesome. Or the New Orleans accent, that is. I feel like that scene is a perfect microcosm for this season as a whole. Because, like you're saying, you look at it and you're like, this doesn't make any freaking sense.
But it's fun.
Yeah, it's a blast. And you can tell everybody in it is having a blast. Everybody acting in that scene is just, especially when the Delphi guy's just getting his tea. And he's just hamming up till the end, like, I know I'm out, but I'm going to have fun with it.
Yep. That was very, I felt like tearing.
He picked up the hand that still had a gun in it and shot him with that and tossed it.
New best friends, Kathy Bates and the butler. They really hit it off.
They did.
Suddenly, sticking with parameters, Ghost doesn't matter. Kathy Bates can see him. Whatever. Whatever. Because the Axeman was a ghost and nobody could see him.
There's no rules. There's no rules for anything.
You can't. It doesn't. But whatever. So he convinces her to get a doll baby that's handcrafted by such and such. Hilarious. And he's like, here's a cocktail that'll kill her. Put 3 in her drink, and it's Benadryl.
Yeah.
And you know it's Benadryl because it says Benadryl on the bottom.
Right on the side. It's sponsored by Benadryl.
Absolutely.
I checked to see if we had it. I wanted to open up this episode and be like, this episode's brought to you by Benadryl.
We have Kirkland's signature type Benadryl.
Yeah. One big plastic bin of it.
But Bates, they really touched back on her. They opened the whole episode and they kind of went, which I felt was a step back because I was like, okay, because it was like all of a sudden her body is.
And then she's back to
normal.
And not only she's back to normal, but she's back to murdering black people again.
Yeah.
Which I felt like they've been building her this whole season.
I felt like we got plenty of that, and this one was more about like. It felt weird. It's like they're trying to help you understand, like, oh, why haven't I been sad? I haven't been painting lately. Yeah. I haven't been like viciously destroying
people. Like,
my
it's her
slaves
hobby. It's
lately.
just something that she does for fun.
It was pretty gnarly. They took a a leaf shearer and cut a man's toes off.
Yeah, can I tell you the thing that unsettled me most about that whole sequence about the butler trying to get her to take out Laveau, which apparently all she needed to do was smack her on the back of the head and bury her, which again, why didn't that happen?
Yeah. Here's what I feel like is gonna happen. We don't know who the Supreme is right now. We got this guy who loves dolls. He has a way to kill Madame Laveau. Oh snap, didn't work. Bury her, just like the other girl's buried, who's eventually gonna come back.
Misty's
That doesn't
still
matter.
gone.
No parameters. This you remember Gak from Nickelodeon? That crap. That's what this season is. It's just goo that spills out everywhere.
But it's so fun.
And it's so much fun.
But I want all of it.
We look back. I feel like this is what's going to happen. I feel like when you watch the first episode of a season, you expect to see the last episode and know where those characters are as a unit. What happened? What kind of adventures did they have? No matter what the story is, that's the structure of a story. That's not what's going to happen. You're going to look back and it's going to be the same freaking thing. There's going to be a new Supreme, and that's going to be it. And then they're going to move on. The characters aren't going to be changed. It's just going to be the same freaking thing, and no one's going to ever die.
Yeah, I do like their method of getting me to root for Zoe by having everybody else in the show be god awful.
Yeah,
like everybody else does the worst things to each other.
Yeah, like, we'll go with
Zoe
the
Zoe was so bland that it's like, oh, screw her. But then everybody else has done such terrible things at this point. I'm like, well, she's the only one I can really root for anymore.
I'm aching for Cordelia to be the Supreme.
Really?
Because she's at this point, like, Queenie was like super mean to her. And,
can she be the Supreme?
I just want her to I want like a fucking light of fire to burst out from her chest, and she's like evil, and she's Supreme.
Speaking of Cordelia and Zoe, the person that interacted with them most this episode was Myrtle, who I've decided that I don't trust at all. I used to not trust her, then I started trusting her again, and now I'm back to the point that I feel like there's a reason she got rid of Zoe. And remember when she was talking to
I think she probably saw herself in Zoe. The way that she sees a lot of Fiona and Madison.
Yeah.
When she sees that interaction, she probably sees a lot of herself in Zoe.
Who's the daughter's name again? The botanist eye chick?
That's Cordelia.
Cordelia. Remember when she's talking to Cordelia, like, I would never hurt you, as she touches her with her gloved hands. And Cordelia's like, oh, you're right, I don't need to touch you to know that you didn't do anything wrong. Bullshit. I think she is full of shit.
Totally.
But Delphi threw the acid in her face.
That's what she said. Or that's what Delphi said. That's what Delphi said. But
she said.
No. That Delphi orchestrated it, but who did it?
I think it was a dude.
I'm just saying. I think it's Myrtle. Although I will say that Myrtle kills her line. Myrtle, to me, is the most fun.
She had a whole monologue where she was talking about fashion.
Yeah.
Is that right?
She's just so great. She's so absurd.
And I was like, wait. What does this have to do with the scene?
She's so great. And then she compared something to an Olympian's jism or something like that.
Yeah.
Olympian's ejaculate.
Yeah, Olympian's ejaculate, yeah.
I feel like she's having the most fun out of anybody.
But I agree. I think you might be right.
Yeah, I don't trust her.
Anytime you don't have the touchy touch happen, it means that it's significant.
Yeah.
And you're right. They never explain who, and the Delphi people never explain who. And she has a grudge against the Coven. She talks a lot about the Coven as a whole. She worked for a thing that protected the Coven. She killed the other people who were in charge of protecting witches. I think you might be onto something.
Yeah,
it would be cool if she was Supreme.
You know what would be cool?
But she's kind of old.
It would be cool if, yeah.
I feel bad for saying that.
That'd be like when, who was the old vice president?
Cheney?
Or no, it was McCain, when they were like, well, yeah, we can let McCain. Yeah. And then everybody was like, McCain's gonna die, we're gonna still be Sarah. It's the same thing. And anyway.
You need an interim pope. It's like when you choose another old pope that's going to die after a popular one. You just need one to clean the slate to get another popular
That's
pope.
Benedict was.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Exactly.
The new pope's so dope. I love him.
The pope is dope.
And then there's some stuff happening with Frankenstein. Who gives a crap? They went to Orlando and Epcot.
Yeah, they went to Epcot. Of all
they
places.
went to Disneyland.
I thought that was a joke.
He turned down a Madison BJ because he loves Zoe.
Yeah.
Really sweet.
Which I know we kind of established.
That's for real. When a teenage boy turns down a BJ.
From Emma Roberts, no less.
That's true.
I also like how it was weird for me. I know we kind of established that Fiona fixed his brain up, but when him having complete sentences tripped me out. I'm like, wait, because it's been like 4 episodes.
He's still very abrupt. He's still like, I love Zoe.
I can't control myself. I do like that though that they're incorporating the fact that he has multiple body parts from like the evil frat boys from back in the day, and he's like, at least it's a sign that the writers at least remember when the season was better.
And guess what?
Remember when it started? It was so long ago.
Yeah, guess what? And that was a resurrection that had consequences.
Yeah.
You could bring somebody back, but they might not be
perfect.
perfect.
What if they Hamlet it? What if they Hamleted?
Hamleted.
What if they just kill everybody?
They actually better.
It's a fun show. Go to netflix.com/SourceFed if you want to get a month of free streaming and check out the first 2 seasons of American Horror Story.
Which are awesome.
Again, don't let us criticize the show in any way.
It's still a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it really
we love
is.
the show.
Really
it's fantastic. Like and subscribe if you can, and click these annotations to check everything out. Thank you, DJ, for joining us.
Thanks for having. Oh my gosh. Thanks for having me. Hopefully I didn't.
Yeah. All right, guys. Be safe out there.
Down.
Bye. 2 more episodes.
Oh my gosh.